Overthinking is a superpower if you learn how to control it. I've spent my entire life overthinking, and for the longest time, it had stopped me from doing so many things. But recently, I have managed to reframe my overthinking into something that helps me rather than hinders me. And it only took me 15 years to figure it out.
Disclaimer.
I am not a trained professional. I am just some guy on the internet talking about my experiences and what has worked for me, which might not necessarily be the best methods for you. So let's take a look at our perception of overthinking. Now, most people, myself included, tend to think of overthinking as this very negative thing that kind of keeps you on this hamster wheel of thought and can lead to procrastination, anxiety, and a myriad of other negative emotions and thoughts. And I think this is just one way of looking at it. The definition of overthink is overthink, verb. Think about something too much or for too long, which is fairly simple. And it means that all of these negative perceptions about it are things that we have attached to overthinking. Because so much good stuff from creatives, philosophers, entrepreneurs has come from overthinking and obsessing about something. So, what if the real problem is not overthinking itself, but how and when we do it? One of the most common traps that we fall into when overthinking is that we're trying to figure everything out and solve the problem and fix it at the same time, but you can't do both. We often end up in this endless cycle of planning and preparation without doing anything about it. And it's usually because of a fear of failure or some other thing that you should probably work out in therapy. But it is this simultaneous thinking about and trying to do it and have it all solved out beforehand that causes this tension and procrastination. It's very much like trying to solve a maze while sprinting at full speed, or trying to plan the perfect road trip while driving. It doesn't really work. You can do one or the other. And so, this is how we turn overthinking into a superpower. We separate the thinking and the doing, two completely different things, but with the understanding that both are needed for effective progress. You can't plan the perfect road trip and never get in your car. And you can't just get in your car and drive and hope that you have the perfect road trip. You need both. Additionally, on a little side note here, overthinking is only useful when you can actually do something about the thing that is bothering you or the problem that you are trying to solve. When you get stuck into a cycle of overthinking about what someone else thinks of you, that's quite self destructive and not very fun at all. Recognizing the things you can do something about with your overthinking is a skill in itself, and just paying close attention to where your attention is. But that's a whole other video on attention. And if you want to see that video, drop a comment and let me know. Overthinking really becomes a superpower when we use it to explore the right questions. The questions that really matter, like, why does this matter to me? Why am I doing this? What am I hoping to achieve here? Why am I hoping to achieve this? Is there something I am missing here? Should I be looking at this from another perspective? What is it that I really want? When we use our mind in this way to ask these questions, it is not overthinking. It is depth, clarity, and precision. It is exploring the goal and the different paths in which you can take and preparing yourself for what is to come. But, and this is a very important but, if all you do is plan, you will never get anywhere. So let's talk about the doing. The doing should be small, tiny, and imperfect steps that move you closer towards the desired outcome or goal that you have thought about so much in your overthinking. And if you're quite the serial overthinker like I am, you really must force yourself to make small, imperfect steps. Otherwise, all of your overthinking is completely wasted. Terry's coming in. Bed. Where were we? Examples. So let me give you a very quick example. Let's say you want to get healthier. You could research the best workout program, go see a coach, sign up to the gym, work out all your macros and nutrients, write out a grocery list to match those needed macros and nutrients, research all the best recipes, find yourself a gym buddy, go on Amazon and buy yourself a bunch of supplements, the best gym bag and water bottle and everything else that you can find. Or you could just go for a walk and eat something green and decide to do that every day for 7 days. All of the questions, research, and planning that you can do towards this goal will help, and it does have its place. But the only thing that will make progress towards the goal of getting healthier is the doing. And generally, as a rule of thumb, the doing is very small actions done often. So, to summarize this point, where most people lose is that they try to think and act at the same time. Separate time to think, which is to define goals, explore reasons and purpose, and separate time to act, which is to create momentum, iterate, fail, and learn. This is the exact framework that I've been using to get this video recorded now. For the last month, I have been overthinking about my content, my strategy, what kind of videos I want to make, how I want to show up online, what lighting setup to use, what camera gear, whether I want to make Instagram reels or YouTube videos. I've been going deep into absolutely everything and just getting dizzy, basically, with all of the ideas and thoughts that I've been having. But the only thing that actually gets me moving towards making content is making the content, which is what I am doing right now. And what I want you to take away from this is that overthinking is not necessarily a bad thing. It just means that you care very deeply about something. But you must learn to control it and put a timer on it, or it will become your prison. As with everything in life, you need to have balance. Planning is for direction, and action is for momentum. So let me leave you with this. What is one thing you already know that you need to do, and what if you just did it? Not perfectly, might not have it all figured out, but what if you just did it? That little tiny step, what if you just tried it? Maybe you fail, maybe you learn something, and then maybe you have more information to overthink with and plan your next step. I guess this means that the superpower isn't overthinking. The superpower is knowing when to stop. Damn. Anyway, that is it for this idea. I hope you enjoyed it. If it managed to change your thought or perspective somehow, you can drop it a like and a subscribe if you want to see more. Other than that, I hope you're well. Have a lovely day, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers. Is that it? I think that's it. YouTube puts a video here usually, by the way, if you want to check that out. That's something you could do. All right. Done.